Hello, good day everyone. In this time, I would like to explain about the Great Resignation and its correlation with Maslow theory of motivation. So I would like to make a disclaimer first that this is not for scientific purpose. I made this for my college assignments. I just gather some information from many sources that I wrote and the description that I add my own talks. So I am open for any discussion or any feedbacks. So the Great Resignation, also known as the Big Quit, is the ongoing trend of employees voluntarily leaving their jobs from spring 2021 to the present in response to COVID-19 pandemic. The term Great Resignation was likely coined by Anthony Klotz, the professor of management at Mays Business School of Texas A&M University. According to Labor Department of U.S., 4 million workers called it quits in April 2021, and there are apparently 10.9 million job openings at the end of July. So there are many reasons as to why people choose to resign, like pandemic burnout, heavy workload, back to work from office, or maybe the talks of rearranging priorities. So the first one I would like to explain is the pandemic burnout and heavy workload. Based on research by NordVPN team, on January, workers in USA logged on for 11 hours a day, which is 3 more hours before the first lockdown. While it is true that employees' engagement rate can affect productivity and well-being, companies still need to explicitly set boundaries about their employees' work-life balance. There may be some who are gladly reply a work-related message long after the working hours ended, but according to the survey, 55% said it would be very helpful if the communication and work expectation are kept within the working hours. And a study by Microsoft also stated that 54% workers feel overworked. This issue is hand in hand with heavy workload problems due to the risks of hiring new employees or fresh graduates since they can get in-person training. So most companies prefer hiring experienced personnel. This is why the resignation rate in mid-career employees increased by more than 20% in average between 2020 and 2021. So a blurry working office and heavy workload might lead to burnout. And what happens when people get burnout? Stress or even depressed and anxiety. It affects the well-being of employees eventually. So next one is work from office and life's priorities. Based on study done by Microsoft, over 70% wants flexible remote work to continue. Why? Simply because they don't want to miss out important events. Not only Christmas dinner, but also regular dinner where family sit and eat together. Or for those who live alone, can have a freedom to have morning or evening workout. Or even those who are uncomfortable with their coworkers who don't value them, or maybe simply because you can save our time from commuting, which is mentally and physically taxing. Not to mention the risk of getting COVID while you're commuting. On average, people spend 200 hours commuting per year, and according to a joint research of more than 5,000 voters, 47% said the time they would normally spend on commuting has not been used to spend more time with their family. They also use it to sleep more, focus on various hobbies, and get more work done. Now, people would think either they want to continue to go back working from office and spend their time commuting and work until late, or having dinner at home and didn't miss tucking their kids to bed. So we already know that people rethink their life's priorities during this pandemic. They rethink about their physical health, well-being, family, safety, and any others. So according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, people need to get through various steps in order to be satisfied or motivated. The first one is physiological needs, which is basically instinctive stuff like eat, rest, sex, and others related to survival mode. According to the data, people spend 200 hours in average per year to commute. So commuting during regular hours is physically and mentally draining, and working from home help them saving their time, and they use the time to rest at home. So why people still resign? Back to the survey, people said that the working hours gets blurry. Many said they got sick, skipped lunch, and stressed due to the blurry working hours. Even some people might still have to reply work-related email at midnight. That kind of situation leads to burnout, and burnout leads to them rethinking their health and well-being as top priorities instead of work. The second one in the hierarchy is safety. COVID-19 is still here. Who would risk committing to work if they got a baby or little children or even relatives that's not immune to the virus? Also, safe working environment is a must. I mean, yes, the office building might be safe, but according to flagship survey, 51% respondents said they are more productive working from home, and 68% of them said it is due to fewer interruption and quiet work environment. It might also be related to colleagues who don't value each other or even sexual harassment that might happen in the workplace. So when companies call the employees to start working from office regularly or 3 days a week, people will surely rethink. The third in the hierarchy is love or intimacy. In workplace, love or intimacy is known as employees' engagement. According to a study of 2,000 Americans who work from home, 53% said they don't feel as connected to their company since working from home. And from what I have mentioned before about blurry working hours and constant communication related to work, people might feel way more disconnected with the company as there is no opportunity to get to know each other deeper. Engagement is very important as people who has a great sense of belonging will be more productive. Thus, this is hand in hand with the fourth need, which talk about appreciation. The fourth is esteem. This includes respect, independence, freedom, recognition, attention, and appreciation. According to the same study from previous stage, 58% said they are working harder than before, and if they don't see gratitude from their employers, they are going to cut back on effort. 3 in 4 respondents think their mental health would improve if they receive more appreciations. 68% said they would feel unmotivated to work since everything they do seems to go unnoticed. When people get their esteem needs, it leads to satisfaction, hence the feeling of being useful, worth, and self-confidence. Dwelling on these needs produce feelings of weakness, helplessness, and eventually discouragement to continue working. Hence, that is why people choose to resign. The last one is self-actualization. Self-actualization is like where we finally actualize our true potential. As Maslow said, it's like musician must make music, a painter must paint, and a poet must write if he is to be ultimately happy. Of course, this need will vary from person to person, as each individual has their own ideal form. We shall admit that Maslow theory lacks scientific research, so it would be hard for us to determine what makes these workers satisfied. And it is true that these needs is impossible to be fulfilled because it never ends. You probably ever heard someone who doesn't get motivated to going up the ladder. Well, that is kind of people who fail at self-actualization stage. They end going up the ladder and lose the motivation to unleash their true potential. The result, people would be bored as there is no new challenge appeared, and they would feel there's nothing to lose if they resign, as they lose the motivation to get promoted. There are many things a company can do. The first is to know your employees, identify what's their unfulfilled needs and what their main concerns, and work it out from that. If they feel restless, then consider hybrid working, where employees can work flexibly. The second is to make boundaries on the working hours to respect their time outside working hours, to make sure that the employees are emotionally safe so they fulfill their safety needs, or making sure that the working environment are safe if you are considering hybrid work. The third is to host social activities where company just having fun with our employees, a night or a day where you just gather to have fun and not talk about work, or maybe celebrating employees' achievement together with the team to increase the engagement and maybe show that the company cares not only the employees but also their families by giving them mini surprise as like delivered cookies or invite their plus one to company social event to increase the sense of belonging. The fourth is to give them rewards that is suitable for them. It doesn't always have to be physical gift or words of appreciation. It depends on their love language. If their love language is quality time, then the company can give them that as reward. Lastly, I would say to give the employees an opportunity that allows them to succeed by focusing on their skills and abilities and helping them look for ways to advance their careers. That is all for me about the Great Resignation and its correlation with Maslow's motivation theory. I am still learning and would love to know any other view as well.